So, at first we talked why there's a hold on your account. And I'll discuss about the information on why there is. Now let's discuss why you should let your bank put a hold on your account. So, every day, there is a blood curdling, a blood boiling situation going on in a bank. Every day you see it, every day it happens, a check or a deposit is being placed on a hold. Now why? Why do most banks put your checks on a hold, and why do they do it? Why do they go through this madness and everything? Well, first off, it's not much as a madness. Where, matter of fact, the reason why a bank puts your deposit on hold is for the benefit of you as the account holder. You see, them putting it on the hold is actually a federal law placed by the Federal Reserve and the Constitution and Congress to help protect both the bank and yourself. Now, this is very important because you yourself are the reason why there is even a bank in the first place, because you are the account holder and you are the way they make their money. So why are they trying to limit you to your own money and let them spend more money? Well, let's go more over it. What is a hold? A hold is a detainment on deposited funds in an account. So meaning they'll hold on to your funds and it'll show up in your current balance. However, it will not show up in your available balance, meaning you will not be able to access the funds or use it at all on your debit card or on the withdrawal line or on the teller line. If you do try to attempt to withdraw any items, it might turn out into an overdraft fee or an NSF fee, meaning do not use any funds as long as the hold is on your account unless you have available funds. Furthermore, let's talk about deposits, the type of deposits and the availability they have. First, we have cash deposits, which are same-day items. Usually, we don't really see any cash holds unless it's frozen assets from the government appeal or money laundering or anything like that. Checks, they're usually next business day. Yes, they are next business day, amazingly. However, there are some checks that are placed on hold, and we'll go further into it. We have wires, which are same or next day. Some of them can even be put on hold if the bank or any financial institution or any BSA, Bank Security Act, or any other federal place feels like it is money laundering or has any issues or it looks just really suspicious. And then next is items. Items include cashier's checks, money orders, and all the sorts. They are usually next day. They tend to stay next day unless they are fraudulent. And once come back fraudulent, it looks the same and everything. Furthermore, let's go on to the topic about checks, because that is the most likely item to get put into a hold. So on checks, there is a regulation followed through. It's called Regulation CC. Do you know what Regulation CC is? Well, we'll go into it. It's an act imposed by the federal government to help fairly limit the amount of time a financial institution can hold deposited funds. Okay? So when they put a hold onto your funds, there's a reason to it. And the reason why they have a regulation and a hold on it all, well, is because before the acts, banks and many other institutions were playing far longer holds on many deposited items, meaning it was affecting negatively you, the account holder. So it's actually awesome that we have a new law that limits the amount of time it can be on a hold, because banks could detain these amount of holds till you passed away back in the day. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous and it was unnecessary. So Regulation CC was imposed to combat that unfairness and also help protect the customer alongside the banks at the same time, so the money can be paid, and it helps further move the line of transferring money and getting it in and out and getting the banks paid and banks deposited and all that. So let's go back to what we were saying. Regulation CC, on this one, there's a reason why banks put a hold on your check, and that's because money does not move quick. Now, why does money not move quick? Well, think about it like this. If I present a check to Wells Fargo and it's drawn off Chase, Wells Fargo has to take the time to give me the check, loan me the check, and then they have to take the time to take the money from Chase Bank and put it to them and pay themselves right back. And there's a whole process to it, and it takes from 1 to 3 business days most of the time. However, bigger items, such as checks of $5,000 or more, there is a bigger risk, because that's a lot more money you have to move, and it's a lot longer process and a lot longer to verify, especially on the quick that is placed into to verify if the check is going to get paid or not, it's a lot longer. Furthermore, what is this protection that regulation CC is protecting all of us? This holds. Why are these holds protecting us from? Well, it protects the banks a lot more than it protects the customer. But if you think about it, if it protects the banks more, then it protects the customer as well. So if it protects the banks from return items, fraudulent checks, and misuse of funds, well, it's also going to protect the customers from all the same things. Also, it protects the customer from unnecessary extended hold periods, bounce check, fake checks, and unpaid items. As you can see, if a check were to come in fraudulent, if you expecting it to be your payroll check, however, it is a famously known Nigerian fake check, which means they deposit the item in there, and then that check is presented for pay with your account number and everything, and then the people have hold of your account information and your routing number, and they can go ahead and start pulling out money from your account as an ACH feed. An ACH feed means a direct deposit out of your account. And all of that, it just goes more into bank terminology, and then we discuss stop payments and all that, and it just puts you more and more into fees and debts. As you know, banks love to charge you fees. So definitely, Regulation CC avoids all of that and helps protect you from all of those unnecessary fees. Next thing, so how does Regulation CC work? As I was explaining in the example, you have to present the check, and then the bank loans you and all that. Now there are exceptions for why banks don't cash checks that same day. Why money doesn't transfer so fast? Well, same day items. The Regulation CC goes ahead and tells you what are same day items and next day items. Usually those are local checks, meaning checks that are either drawn off the same bank that you are, or checks that are been seen most of the time, or you have a good personal relationship with the bank, so they go ahead and let it go through because of such a relationship that you have with the bank, because you've been banking there for so long. Now, our exceptions are amounts of items that exceed over 5,000, meaning any check over 5,000 is going to be placed on the check, just because that's how Regulation CC works, and that is the law, and that's to protect you and the bank from any missed payments. Because yes, an account holder can have as much money as they can in the account. However, if they write you out a $10,000 check and they have $1 million in the account, what's to say they won't waste that $1 million? Any instant they can waste that $1 million on a private house, private jet, mansion. If they have that type of money, they can spend it. It doesn't mean you're assured. When they write you out a check, it doesn't mean you're assured the money. Yes, it assures that you're going to get paid sooner or later, but it doesn't mean you're going to get all the full money. Anything could happen, especially in the world of finances. Nothing's perfect. So definitely, this does help you protect from anything, especially in a big, high amount like that. If you were to cash a $10,000 check and they were to return to you, then your account will go negative 10,000 because the bank has to recover that, and on top of all the other fees that they would charge you. So definitely, this protects you from going negative and any other fees that would be charged to yourself. Okay. And if that were to happen, that would be an issue to the employer, whoever issued you the check, unless that was a fake check from your part and you're trying to do fraudulency. Then you will be fined to the utmost court of the law into justice. However, let's go furthermore into these exceptions. New accounts, we have new people, you can't really trust them, so you gotta go and build that relationship and see how it tests the waters and everything. And if the last check was returned on fraudulent, there's usually a warning for most banks to see if the last check was returned as fraudulent or not. So they will not go ahead, they will go ahead and place it on a 7-day hold, which is the biggest hold, or any 2-day hold, depending on the policy of your bank as well. And if an account was recently or excessively overdrawn or has a bad deposit history, meaning if an account is overdrawn, that means they like to misuse their money. They like to go and swipe. So if they were to go ahead and make this check available, it means they would use this check all the way through the overdraw, and the bank won't make any money out of it because they'll be using more of the bank's money than the bank will be using their money. And that's just how it works. It's a symbiotic relationship where both places win, because one place gets the money and one place makes more money. However, it works out in the end, and that's why the banks are here and we're still here. And there's a good reason in the whole madness. And let's go ahead and wrap it up. So, there is a procedure to $200 will be made available the next day. The rest will go on a hold depending on your bank's policy. The longest possible holds are 9 days. 11 days, there's a bigger exception. And there's different policies for each bank. So, let's go more into why you should do this. Allowing this to happen, this whole procedure, builds your trust with the bank and the bank's trust with you. Letting the procedure go by builds up a better relationship. A lot of people don't know, but a bank, there are customers that have banked with banks for 20 so years, and $50,000 checks are no thing. They'll make it available next day, that same day, whenever you need it. They need to cash it, they'll cash it for you, just because of the relationship they've drawn off, because they've let holes like this go by. This also builds up your recourse and everything that you need to know for it. All right. And on top of that, there are many effects. Yes, customers get mad. There's an inconvenience. There's a loss of funds, temporarily limited to one's funds, frustration and anger, and protection. Frustration and anger. Yes, there is all of that. However, it protects you from hot checks, bounce checks, you misusing your funds. The bank is out here to protect you. They're not here to limit your money. Yes, you hear in the news, oh, my bank took this and that. Well, that's because these people have probably been overdrawing their accounts or doing something themselves very, very, very stupid with their own money. And just try not to be in that receiving end. It's really easy to keep up with your financials and with your bank as long as you are a good customer. You're not overdrawing your account. You're not misusing your funds or anything. You are literally trying to financially stabilize yourself in the groundworks as you can be. And that's why you see a lot of customers bring in big checks and they go ahead and let them go through. And you should strive to be in that good relationship so you can build that bound, firm relationship with your bank. And you can let these checks go by as well. And that's why you should always let them put it on the hold, because it builds that relationship. Now, there are excessive holds. Yes, I understand you might be limited to your own money, and banks understand that. It is unhappy customers. Accounts can be are being closed, but the banks are securing the money and verifying your checks. And they do understand that this is very hard for you to decide to let them keep their money, especially if you're running a business. However, be also very reliant and understand their part of the story, that they need to move the funds. They need to take all the funds out. They need to get this. They need to get that for you. They're doing a lot more behind the scenes for you than you realize. And you also need to understand the story for the banks. So it is a mutual relationship on both parts. And if you ever do really need the funds, they can release the hold. They can at least make some available for yourself. So definitely, complaining and crying might help at the very end to release these funds. However, try to keep them in the hold as much as possible, because it will benefit you more than it will benefit the bank, because it will get you a better relationship, a better status, and you'll be able to get all the money as you want from the bank. So definitely, ending on this, you should definitely let the bank keep your money. Let them have it all right? Because it builds your relationship and your trust with your bank, meaning you trust your bank and they trust you. And it goes both ways, and you can start bringing in bigger checks, bigger amounts, and not ever have to deal with that blood curdling, angering, eye gouging, that stress that just makes your hair fall out. You don't have to ever go through that and hear those dreadful words. Unfortunately, your check is going to go on the hold. Instead, you'll hear, yeah, we can make it available, or it'll be a next day item. And that is it. Apaga.